All right, video 4, strengthening. Now, when it came to restrictions and guidance for rebuilding the strength, I didn't get a whole lot. I was basically told to avoid any weight or extreme pressure in the extension push-up position and to wear a brace for most things. And my hand therapist didn't really like the grip squeezers. And that was about it. The surgeon said there wasn't much I could do to hurt it. Challenge accepted. Um, that's not a good thing. I am stupid and stubborn, as we've previously covered, which is odd because I'm also pretty cautious nowadays due to injuries. Um, or at least I'm fairly cautious after I tweak something. Okay, anyways. I had very little guidance at this stage. Nothing I really found on YouTube told me much. I suppose I could have looked into PT, but it seemed like it was hand therapy and that was that. So after some searching, I found a surgeon that had a rehab by weight and week posted online. I didn't start it on the same time frame as I wanted to be fully cleared by my hand therapist, and it overlapped. So I continued with the putty routine, which was what I went over in the last video. That was like my warm up for this the weighted routine that I would start, minus the grip squeezers. That I would do roughly 3 times a week, and I'd usually do it later in the day. The donuts I would just play around with while sitting at my desk throughout the day. So as you can see in this program, it's a progressive weight loading starting at week 12. I did not start this on week 12. I was in a brace for 8 weeks and did another 8 weeks of hand therapy. I started this after being discharged from hand therapy, so I was at 16 weeks post-op. But I started at the week 12 weight, 2 pounds like a baller. It was sad, but I'd rather start the lowest weight and not be stupid, which I have a history of, to get back up to pre-injury strength with as few setbacks as possible. And you don't always know how to trust the repairs. So, and I also did that 2 pounds for 2 weeks. So I was very cautious. I didn't start really progressing the weight until after 2 weeks at 2 pounds. Now understand, this is what I did. What you do is your decision. And I suggest you clear all rehab activities with your surgeon. Yep, that was my lame disclaimer. I'm not responsible for your actions. These are mine and mine alone. Yours need to be cleared by your medical team. The following is just based on my personal experience, not a recommendation of any approved physical rehab program. So I started with static holds, just a neutral grip, palm down, and then I would rotate them to a hammer grip, and then I'd rotate up to a palm up grip. And those were typically 30 seconds to start with. And I did this alone with just my left hand for the first week. In the second week, I added my right hand just to be balanced. And then I would work into my dumbbell circuit. But I would do this for 3 sets of palm down, hammer, and then palm up. Then I'd start the whole body circuit. And it's just a dumbbell circuit. I'm not going to demonstrate it for you, but it consisted of dumbbell curls, overhead tricep extensions, hammer curls, kickbacks, dumbbell presses, side laterals, rear laterals, bent rows, yes, bent rows with 2-pound dumbbells, squats, Romanian deadlifts with 2-pound dumbbells, and calf raises. And I did this every morning for 5 days a week. The goal was never to put the weight down, and that was the point. It wasn't that 2 pounds exercise were hard, but the point was to grip the weight constantly through these different forces and ranges of motion. So after the initial 2 weeks at 2 pounds, I started to increase the weight as the guide suggested. I would end up working up to the 12-pound dumbbells over the course of the strengthening phase, which was a bit harder, of course. I also increased the static holds from 30 seconds to 45 to 1 minute. I don't remember exactly how long I was doing the 30 seconds for, but when I had worked up to 12-pound dumbbells, I was doing 60-second static holds. During this time, my grip strength was improving. Each week I would test it. I got some muscle back on my sad little arm. This is what I did for the 2 months before I had my last post-op appointment. Right before that appointment, about, I don't know, 1 to 2 weeks or so, I was working on the firm putty. And while gripping, I had this odd sensation in the tendon kind of straight back from my thumb, about 3 to 4 inches. Like it rolled. I didn't know if pop is the right word, but it was odd enough feeling under force that I took a break and let that calm down. So I showed up to my last post-op appointment with full range of motion and a grip strength at 101. And 101, so 100, my threshold for being able to lift weights was 100. So I was happy that I hit that point where I felt comfortable starting to lift weights. So I was happy there. And he was pretty surprised that I had full range of motion back. Most don't get that. Usually lose a bit both ways. Strength wise, I was tracking every week. So every Saturday, I'd do some putty warm up, put the wrist strap on nice and tight, and test. Now, contrary to what you may have seen on IG with all the grip strength meter testing, when they hand it to the gymnast, they were always doing it wrong. Correctly, you have to put your elbow at your side, bend your arm 90 degrees with your elbow at your side like you're going to shake someone's hand. That's the position. There you squeeze, and you squeeze hard. And you do that 3 times, and then you average it. And that's what you're supposed to do. It's not for the gram. I'll post mine up, but on the 24th of February, I did my first home test after being discharged from hand therapy, where she tested me at 83 pounds. My test was on the 24th. She had tested me on the 22nd, I believe. My test was 72 pounds with a high of 75.8. My right hand at that time pulled 151, so it was nice. Nice contrast to my weak arm. So from there, I was testing each week, making steady progress. 5 to 10 pound increases for about a month. I stalled out, stuck at 99 for about 3 weeks. I finally hit 101 pounds on the 17th of April. Apparently, that was a month before my last post-op appointment. I thought it was sooner than that, but about a month when I rolled that tendon and took a break. So then recently I tested in June. That was 109 pounds. Tested again in August for 115. And at this point, I still wasn't training my grip. This was just living life, nothing special. Not even lifting at this point, I think. Maybe a couple days here and there, but nothing consistent yet still. Because I was just getting my garage gym together, so there really wasn't a whole lot. Then I checked again at the end of September and was holding pretty steady around 119. Now this is where my surgeon estimated I'd end up post-surgery. He gave me around 110 to 120. So we'll go through a quick warm-up here with the putty. I like to do each putty just a little bit, like 5-10 seconds, just something to get the blood flowing, and then we'll test here. Lightweight, baby. I can't do a Ronnie Coleman impression, but lightweight, baby. Lightweight. 129 pounds. That is pretty close to, well, full strength. Being was 140 to 150 previously, we round up to 130 here, so I'm only 10 off at this point, and I really haven't done any actual training. So that's for you, Big Ron. Easy day. Lightweight. All right, to conclude this video on the strengthening phase, at the time of this recording, I've been slowly working on my consistency with lifting. And by that, I mean I'm on week 3, but it has spanned 6 weeks, I think, of inconsistent consistency. Either way, I'm pretty sure I could add another 10 to 20 pounds of grip strength on there pretty easily. Weight-wise, I'm about 185 to 190. The diabetes makes it pretty hard to keep, or makes it hard to put weight on, actually. So with a little effort, I think I can get back up to 200. With a bit of effort, I think I can get back to 210 pretty easily. 220 might be a stretch, but I think 210 is somewhat reasonable. And to cap this one off, I am going to post up some slides on the strength of these reconstructions, and there'll be links in the description below. A lot of these things say that you need the repair to be able to withstand at least 300 newtons of force, as that's what the wrist should be able to take without failure, or the ligaments and whatnot could take without failure. Now, I have internal bracing, so that's the tape that's sutured in through the tendon graft, And that always makes them stronger. You always want that if you could have some sort of augmentation in there to increase the strength of your repairs and reconstructions. Now, I found some time ago, and I lost the link, and I searched, but I could not find it. There was a study where they basically took cadaver bones, repaired them in the different fashions with and without bracing, and hung a weight from it and just looked to see how much weight they could hang from these bones with these repairs until the interval between the bones spaced or the repair just failed completely. And I remember off the top of my head, and now don't quote me on this, and I might be wrong, but I want to say that I was seeing stuff up to 200 newtons. And you could do the conversions to foot-pounds if you like, but it was looking like 200 newtons, I think. And a lot of times it was actually the bone, like the screw, would fail and not necessarily the graft. You would have slippage of the tendon graft from the anchor points. And I remember that in a lot of the failure points on there, but it was under pretty significant load. And it was also pulling straight apart, like being pulled apart by two horses. It was just going straight away from each other, which is not a typical load that you're going to have within your wrist. But that was the test that they were doing. And they were pretty strong. And I want to say they're around 200, but like I said, I can't find the study. If you could find the study, post a link in the comments. I'd appreciate it. And I'm sure other folks would as well. We'll do one more video on this, the sensations being altered and whatnot, and that'll be it.